Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear brother, and the message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I have come here on your platform. So, my brother, like you asked me, I started being a prophet after I had finished my high school. That was when I went for this other Easter conference, like at the place where our church started. That was when I was seen by the bishop of our church, who was still alive at that time. He then called me. So he then sent some of his messengers to come and call me, and I was called. And then the bishop told me that he wanted to bless me because he had seen that my ancestors, indeed, they wanted me to become a traditional healer, but my heart wanted me to become a prophet. So he wanted to bless me. He then made me to touch his walking stick. When I had touched his walking stick, my brother, I saw that at the tip of his walking stick there were flowers, beautiful flowers that came out. This happened when I was caught up in a vision. That was when I saw his walking stick. It transformed itself and it became this beautiful walking stick that had some flowers on top of it, and there were actually some fruits. Then that bishop told me to get any fruit that I wanted. I was really confused because I saw many fruits. There were apples, there were bananas, and all kinds of fruits. So I took an apple, then I started to eat that apple, and as I was eating that apple, then that bishop then said to me, I have given your gift the food of life. Now you can go and you can prophesy. Go out there and tell the people the good news of the Lord. And that was when I woke up and I found out that I was actually prophesying and telling people everything that I was seeing. Because when I would touch someone on their forehead, then like a movie, I would actually see the life that they would have lived and everything that is going to happen in the future. But I could only see maybe 1 year or 2 years down the line. So I started to get famous in that church. But the more that I got famous, I think the more that people got so jealous. The time that I returned back home, because I come from a village in Masvingo, when I returned back home, that was when a lot of our neighbors started to come to our house, and they started to ask me if I was able to assist them. The more that I assisted them, I think that they got jealous. Then there was a time in my life that I went mad. I was mentally ill for 4 good years. At that time, this was after I had impregnated my wife, but she stayed by me even though I was still very young. After I had recovered, it seemed as if my gift was weakened, because sometimes I would actually have visions, but there would be false visions. But I kept on being prayed for until there was a time in my life when I said, I do not want to be a Christian anymore, because I felt as if God was no longer fighting in my corner, because any business that I tried to start, that business will just crumble to the ground. I even bought a car, and I used to carry people from Masvingo, bringing them to Beitbridge. But that car, it just gave me a lot of problems. With each and every trip, it will get stuck by the side of the road, and I had to use a lot of money to get it fixed again. So I finally gave up on that car. That was when I decided to at least make those African cooking sticks, and that is what I sell. Even right now, that is what I do. I make those African cooking sticks. Then I go around the villages. Then I will be selling those African cooking sticks. And as I was doing this business of mine, that was when this other man, he came to me one day and he told me that he wanted 1 African cooking stick. So I gave him. This man, when he came to me, I gave him, because this is how I run my business. if you do not have money, I will give you my products that I make. Then later on, maybe when you would have gotten your salary, I'll come, then you will pay me. So this man, I trusted him because he seemed to be someone that was really innocent. But this man, when I went to him, he first refused to give me my money. He totally refused, and we kept on fighting. Me and this man, we kept on fighting. Then this man, what he finally did was that when he gave me money, what I did not know was that he had actually gone to a herbalist and he had been given a snake. So when I thought that he was actually giving me my money back, but he was actually giving me a snake, and this snake, it was collecting food from my house. Whenever I will be having money in my pockets, sometimes this money, it will just disappear. At that time, I just thought that since I was having a lot of bad luck, this was the reason of the bad luck that I was having. But I did not know that the snake that had been sent in my life to destroy me by my enemy was the one that was causing all of this stuff. Then there was this other day, I was just relaxing. Then I got caught up in a vision, and in that vision, I heard a voice that spoke with me that told me that the man who once owed me, he was the one who had did this evil thing of sending a snake into my compound to finish me off. Then I was told what I was supposed to do so that I can destroy this snake. When I woke up, I was really angry. Then I started to do everything that the angel had told me to do. I was then given the instructions on how to create a go back to sender holy prayer. So I created that go back to sender holy prayer. Then that snake ran away from my compound. It then went and it fought with its owner, that man who once owed me, and that man, he passed away. So when this man had passed away, I had almost forgotten about him because life continued. Then there was this other day when I wanted to go to this other part of the village. When I was walking to that area, then there was this other day when I thought of expanding my business. So there is this other area here in Masvingo where there are a lot of people that are still building their houses, but it is very far from the place where I am staying. And anyway, I then got into the car and I went there. Then I started to sell my brooms and my African cooking sticks. Throughout the day, what the money that I thought that I was going to make, it was not the money that I made because business was really low. Since I had not managed to sell a lot of my products, I said, at least let me walk back on foot. So the place, it is really far. I walked, my brother, until it was sunset. By the time that I got back home, it was really late. Whilst I was walking in my neighborhood, that was when I saw this other man. So this man, he said something that was really funny to me. At first, I didn't even think about it. This man, he said, I bought this cold drink, because he was holding a 2-liter bottle of cold drink. He looked at me and he said, "Oh, my dear friend, how are you?" And I greeted him back. I didn't want to sound or look as if I was being rude to him. The man then said to me, "Oh, my friend, I have made this mistake. I thought that I was going to finish this Coca-Cola bottle, but I bought a 2-liter of it and I can't finish it off. Are you able to help me? Please assist me, because I do not want to see my money going to waste. I do not want to pour all of this good Coca-Cola to the ground. Please help me out. Can we share this bottle of Coca-Cola?" So I looked at him funny and I said, "My man, I do not even know you. And here we are standing here in the middle of the road, and I cannot just trust you to take that bottle of Coca-Cola from you. What if you have placed some drugs in there?" So I said, "I think that you need to find someone else who will be willing to take that Coca-Cola bottle from you. Otherwise, you should just pour it to the ground." So the man walked away and I continued with my journey. As I was walking, that was when I met that same man again, and he said, "Oh, dear friend, here you are. I made a mistake, oh my dear friends. I went to the shops, and when I went to the shops, I then thought of buying some cold drink, but instead of buying a small bottle of cold drink, then I bought all of this 2-liter bottle of Coke. I don't know if you can help me out, because I do not want to see this Coke going to waste. I do not want to pour it to the ground. Do you want some of this cold drink? That was when I said, wait a minute, this man, I have seen him before, and he has said the exact same words that he has said to me earlier on. When I looked at him, then he just walked away and he disappeared. When this man disappeared, that was when I realized that this was not a man that I was seeing, but this was a ghost. And that was when I recognized his voice, and I knew that the voice of this man that was speaking to me, it was the voice of that man that I had actually done a go back to sender against, and the one that I had sent his snake to go and bite him, the man that had died, was the one, and this was his ghost that was now tormenting me. I started to run. I screamed out loud as I was running. Whilst I was running, I saw that there was this other big tree that was by the side of the road. So I ran and I ran. I don't know for how many minutes, but no matter how hard, no matter how fast I tried to run, I never reached the point where that tree was. By the time that I'll notice that there is something that is fishy and funny that is going on, then the whole movie will replay again. I'll meet that man who will say, oh, my friend, I made a mistake and I bought some cold drink. Please help me, because I do not want to see this cold drink getting wasted. Then I'll start to run again. Then I'll see that tree. This thing had happened throughout the night until the sun came out. When the sun came up, that was when I was woken up by this other woman. And she said, man of God, what are you doing by the side of the road? What happened to you? So I woke up and I said, where am I? I saw that I was actually sleeping by the side of the road. I did not want to look so suspicious, and I pretended as if the Spirit of the Lord was the one that had made me to sleep by the side of the road. I collected my products, then I walked fast and I went home, and I told my wife. She's the only one who knows about this. So when I spoke with my wife, she then said, oh, my dear husband, is this what has happened to you? You mean that you have seen the ghost of that man that once owed you a lot of money? Then we are not supposed to inform anyone, because if we tell anyone, then the relatives are going to know. Maybe they would want you to pay, saying that you are the reason as to why he died. So this is the secret that I have been keeping, but I am thankful because that angel that helped me to create this holy go back to sender prayers, the angel came back and spoke to me, and the angel told me some of the holy prayers that I am supposed to be using so that I can keep this spirit far away from me. I don't know for how long I'll be able to hold this spirit back, the spirit of the man that I killed. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother right there. Strange things do happen in this world. Your